Two countries are in an all-out bidding war to sell Canada 12 submarines. The total contract, including maintenance, is worth $44 billion. South Korea's Hanwha Ocean and Germany's ThyssenKrupp Marine Systems both submitted their final proposals on March 2nd. A decision could come as early as April. This is the largest military procurement in Canadian history. Every outlet reported the bids were submitted. Nobody explained why two of the world's top military shipbuilders are throwing everything they have at Ottawa. Hanwha, offering the first submarine delivered by 2032. A $275 million investment in Algoma Steel. A torpedo factory built on Canadian soil. A shipbuilding training center. Up to 25,000 jobs by 2040. And talks about a Canadian rocket launch facility to break satellite dependency on the US, Germany. Countering with NATO standard interoperability, Arctic-optimized stealth design, and a production line already building submarines for Germany and Norway. Both governments sent top-level delegations. Both companies signed dozens of partnership deals with Canadian firms. Trump told the world Canada could not defend itself without America. That claim assumed nobody else would offer to arm Canada. Two countries just proved that assumption catastrophically wrong. When a $44 billion contract lands on the table, nations do not walk away. They fight for it. This is not theory. Both bids are in. The evaluation window closes April 6th. Canada's Navy commander confirmed they are down to one operational submarine. The need is urgent. The money is real. Today, we are showing you what both countries offered and why this deal changes Canada's military future permanently. If you want to stay on top of every development as this story unfolds, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We cover this daily. But first, let us look at exactly what each country is offering and why the numbers are staggering. Let us start with what each country actually put on the table. South Korea's Hanwha Ocean is offering the KSS-III Batch 2 submarine. It displaces 3,700 tons submerged, carries 6 torpedo tubes, plus a vertical launch system for missiles, and runs on lithium-ion batteries, with air-independent propulsion, allowing over 3 weeks submerged. Range exceeds 7,000 nautical miles. Hanwha promises the first submarine delivered by 2032, 4 submarines by 2035, and the full fleet of 12 by 2042. Each submarine costs approximately $2 billion to build, but the real value is in the decades of maintenance, repair, and overhaul that follow. 100% of maintenance would be performed in Canada. Beyond the submarines themselves, Hanwha signed 17 partnership agreements with Canadian companies. The headline, $275 million to Algoma Steel to build a new structural steel beam mill. A training center at Mohawk College talks about a sovereign rocket launch facility in Nova Scotia. And the Hanwha Group promises up to 25,000 Canadian jobs by 2040. Germany's TKMS is offering the Type 2-12 CD, built in partnership with Norway, uses advanced air-independent propulsion, a diamond-shaped hull that minimizes acoustic and radar signatures, and is specifically designed for Arctic and under-ice operations. TKMS has signed partnerships with Seaspan Shipyard for maintenance, Elliston for construction, and Marmin in Quebec for manufacturing. TKMS supplies approximately 70% of NATO's conventional submarine fleet. Germany and Norway have already ordered 12 boats of this type, meaning Canada would join an active production line. The evaluation criteria tell the story of Canada's priorities. The submarine platform counts for 20%. Local maintenance capability counts for 50%. Economic benefits count for 15%. Financial capacity counts for 15%. This is not just a weapons purchase. It is an industrial strategy disguised as a defense contract. And here's where the competition becomes a full-scale geopolitical battle. Here's where it gets fascinating. Step 1. Canada needs 12 submarines to replace its aging Victoria-class fleet, which has only one boat operational. Step 2. The $44 billion contract attracts South Korea and Germany, both recognizing this as the largest conventional submarine deal available anywhere. Step 3. Both countries escalate from corporate bids to government campaigns. Seoul dispatched its presidential chief of staff. Berlin sent its economics minister. This is a diplomatic competition. Step 4. Canada leverages the competition to extract maximum industrial benefit, demanding submarines plus steel investment, training centers, torpedo factories, and potentially auto plants. Step 5. The evaluation window closes April 6th, forcing a decision that locks Canada into a 30-year partnership with either Asian or European defense industry. Canada holds a fascinating position. Two major industrial nations are competing to invest billions in Canadian infrastructure, create tens of thousands of jobs, and build military capability that Canada desperately needs. Every week, the competition continues, both bidders increase their offers. Hanwha started with submarine maintenance and is now offering steel mills, rocket launch facilities, and hydrogen infrastructure. TKMS started with submarine construction and is now offering AI partnerships and battery production. Meanwhile, Canada is considering a move that could reshape everything. The Globe and Mail reported that Ottawa may split the contract. 6 German, 212, CD submarines for the Atlantic, and 6 Korean, KSS-III submarines for the Pacific. The Defense Procurement Secretary has publicly denied this, saying Canada is looking for one partner, but the possibility alone forces both bidders to offer their absolute best. Critics argue splitting the fleet creates maintenance complexity. The Navy commander acknowledged a single class is most efficient, but did not rule out alternatives if the Prime Minister directs otherwise. What do you think Canada should do? Go all in on one country or split the deal and get the best of both? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Now let us talk about what this $44 billion does to Canada's military standing. Canada is about to go from one working submarine to 12. That transformation changes everything. 12 modern submarines give Canada persistent underwater presence across 3 oceans simultaneously. The Atlantic Patrol protects undersea cables, monitors Russian submarine activity, and secures the approaches to the Arctic. The Pacific Patrol addresses the growing submarine presence in the Indo-Pacific, where defense estimates count nearly 300 submarines capable of operating at any given time. The Arctic Patrol secures sovereignty over the Northwest Passage as ice recedes, and international traffic increases. Right now, Canada has exactly 1 submarine that can do any of this. The other 3 are in maintenance, training roles, or non-operational. The industrial impact extends far beyond the submarines themselves. Whichever country wins, the maintenance contract alone runs for 30 years and requires permanent Canadian infrastructure. Repair facilities on both coasts, trained technicians numbering in the thousands, supply chain networks connecting Canadian companies to global defense manufacturing. Algoma Steel, already hit hard by American tariffs, could be revived by Hanwha's $275 million investment. Seaspan's shipyard gains decades of guaranteed work under the TKMS proposal. The cost of not acting is measured in sovereignty. Canada has the world's longest coastline, 3 ocean approaches, unrecognized claims over Arctic waters that Russia, China, and increasingly the United States are challenging. Submarines are the only military asset that can patrol these waters covertly year-round. Without them, Canada's maritime sovereignty exists on paper only. The $44 billion is not a cost. It is a strategic investment in 30 years of industrial capacity, military capability, and sovereign presence that does not exist today. And both bidders are ensuring Canada gets maximum value. So where does this decision take Canada? The answer is generational. The end game is clear. Canada is about to become a submarine power for the first time in its history. The Victoria-class boats were second-hand British leftovers purchased in the 1990s. They spent more time in dry dock than at sea. 1 ran aground, 1 caught fire, 1 ruptured a ballast tank during testing. For decades, Canada's submarine fleet was a national embarrassment. That era ends the moment Ottawa signs this contract. 12 brand new submarines purpose-built for Canadian operations, maintained on Canadian soil, supported by Canadian industry. That fleet does not retire for 30 years. The strategic calculation is permanent. South Korea and Germany are not competing to sell Canada hardware. They are competing to become Canada's defense industrial partner for a generation. Whichever country wins will have deep roots in Canadian manufacturing, training, and technology for decades. That partnership outlasts any government in Ottawa, Seoul, or Berlin. It becomes structural. Canada's military future no longer depends on a single ally. This submarine deal diversifies defense procurement away from traditional American suppliers. Whether the submarines come from South Korea, Germany, or both, the supplier is not Washington. That independence was unthinkable 5 years ago. It is now the foundation of Canadian defense strategy, and that transformation is permanent. The submarines being ordered do not get cancelled. The maintenance facilities being built do not shut down. The industrial partnerships being signed do not expire. The 25,000 jobs being promised do not disappear. What Canada is buying with $44 billion is not just submarines. It is sovereignty that floats. Canada went from one working submarine to the biggest conventional submarine deal on Earth. Subscribe so you do not miss what happens next. And our last video covered how Japan entered Canada's Arctic military exercises. The link is on screen. That story connects directly to this one. Watch it now.